Hello, my dear students. How are you all? Hope you are all doing fine at your home. Now, all know that we finished our first chapter, the fun they had, plus the poem lesson, the road not taken in our Beehive textbook. And we have also started the Sound of Music Part 1. So today in this lesson, I'll be dealing with the Sound of Music Part 1. Dame Evelyn Glennie. Now, a dame is a position given by the British government to females who have achieved lots of things in their lives. So, Evelyn Glennie has been given by this title by the British government. Now, Evelyn Glennie was born in 1965. She was born in Scotland. She is a percussionist, means who specializes in instruments where you hit something with something. So she is the first person in history to successfully create and maintain a full-time career as a solo percussionist. So a percussionist is someone who specializes in playing instruments where you hit something. So these instruments can include drums, xylophone, bells, chimes, tambourine, and such like. So this is a percussionist family of instruments. So most of the instruments I think you know, and if you are interested in music and musical instruments, you can do further research on this particular topic. Now, Evelyn Glennie was born in Scotland and she started studying music at a very young age, but she also started to lose her hearing at a very young age. So her hearing loss was gradual. It started from when she was young, and she completely lost her hearing when she was about 12 years of age. But then she started to sense vibrations all through her body when an instrument is being played. So, and she studied music, and despite of being deaf, she is a very acclaimed musician of her time, and she made her professional debut on stage when she was 20 years of age. So she performed in front of an audience in 1992, and she is the first person to come up with a percussion concert. And despite of traveling with a youth orchestra, she also works alone. She also does lone performances, solo performances. She has worked with and for famous composers, and she has composed music for film, television, theater, and music library companies. She is a double Grammy Award winner, and she is also a BAFTA nominee. Now, this is a quote from Evelyn Glennie. My career and my life have been about listening in the deepest possible sense. Losing my hearing meant learning how to listen differently, to discover features of sound I hadn't realized existed. Losing my hearing made me a better listener. So she doesn't and make take let her hearing loss to define her life. So when she lost her hearing, she started to listen in a different way without using her ears. So losing her hearing has made her a better listener. So against all these adversities, she has learned to listen through the other parts of her body, and she is a world-class musician now. So now she is living at Cambridgeshire in the east of England, and this is her official website, evelyn.co.uk. And if you go to TED Talks in YouTube, you can listen to her speaking. So this is the YouTube link for that, or you can just type Evelyn Glennie TED Talk and you can get her talking. You can listen to her speaking about how she performance on stage and how to overcome all these difficulties and all. So this is a picture of her doing her online on stage performance. So she is playing the xylophone. So a big huge xylophone she is playing. So students, now we will look into the textbook. So please take out your textbook and take to the chapter Sound of Music, second chapter Sound of Music, part 1. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Now the title itself is gives you the idea that there is something fishy going on. So as we all know, she doesn't know how she can't hear, she is deaf. So still she listens to sound, and she doesn't have the ability to hear it. Then how is she listening to sound? So that is the question to be raised. Now God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So, this has been said about Evelyn Lenny by another musician, that God may have taken her ability to hear, but he has given her back something even better than that, even extraordinary than that. So, what other people hear through their ears, she feels through her body, and she feels it far more deeper than any of the people who has the hearing ability. And that's why how and why she expresses music so far better than any other musician. Now read the following account of a person who fought against a physical disability and made her life a success story. So, this is a chapter about a person who has a physical disability, a person who is handicapped physically, but against all odds, they fought and they made their life a success. So, this is something to be learned from this person, that against all difficulties, how they fought and how they got how they got successful in their life. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. So it was rush hour, it was peak hour where everyone was going to school, colleges, offices, and all, and people were pushing roughly to stand and get into the train. So, as you know, in the UK and US, they have this underground train, just like our metro, where doors closes and opens automatically. So once the door closes, you can't get in or get out. So you have to get into the train before the door closes. So people are all rushing through these, amongst other people to get into the train. So a slight girl, a small and thin girl, looking younger than her 17 years. So she is looking younger than her actual age. She was nervous, but also at the same time she was excited, as she knows that the train is approaching. Through the vibrations of the train, she felt the train is coming. She could feel the vibration. So she was nervous and excited at the same time. Why? Because it was her first day at a prestigious music college, Royal Academy of Music in London. It was her first day, and it's very scary for any child or any teenager to go to school, go to college. The first day is very scary for anyone, and she is from a farm place from Scotland, and this person who wants to be a musician in her life, she faced a much bigger challenge than any other student, because she was extremely deaf. She was completely deaf. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired. as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. So Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been slow. It didn't happen in a day. It happened through years. And her mother first noticed this that something was wrong with this child when Evelyn was 8 years old and she was waiting to play the piano. And the people around her called Evelyn's name and she didn't make a move. She didn't respond to her name being called. And then the mother suddenly realized that her child can't hear properly. Her hearing is becoming less and less. So Isabel Jenny, mother of Evelyn Jenny, said this about discovering how her daughter was losing hearing. For quite some time, Evelyn managed to hide her deafness, her gradual loss of deafness, from her friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11 years of age, her marks had gone down. Her marks has declined, and her headmistress, she tried to persuade Evelyn's parents to take Evelyn to an ENT specialist. And then they took her to the ENT specialist, and then it was discovered that Evelyn's hearing has been very extremely damaged. It has been weakened, and it was because of a result of gradual nerve damage. Now, Evelyn's parents were advised by the doctor that she should be fitted with hearing aids. And she should be given hearing aids, and it would be better that if she was enrolled in a school for the deaf students, so she can't learn with the other students who is physically fit. She is physically unfit to learn in those schools, so she should be sent to a school for the deaf. So for Evelyn, her life had gone black. Everything suddenly looked black. It was a blank wall in front of her for the time. But Evelyn was not going to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. One day, she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes. Don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way, says Evelyn. Suddenly, I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. Forbes repeated the exercise, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. So Evelyn, at this loss of hearing, was not ready to give up yet. She was very adamant that she will lead a normal life, and she will continue her interest in music, and she will continue learning music. One day, she saw a girl playing xylophone, and a xylophone, as you can see, it's here. See, this is xylophone, and I have also shown you a picture of xylophone in the PPT where Evelyn Glennie was playing the xylophone. So then this is how it all started. She noticed a girl playing xylophone, and she decided she also want to play it. But most of the teachers said she can't do it because her hearing is lost. But this person, Ron Forbes, this person is the person is the man who has made Evelyn continue with her music. So I think in everybody's lives there should be a Ron Forbes. Then you can do the impossible. So this percussionist Ron Forbes, he realized that this girl has a quality, an ability which can be developed. So he told her, what he did was he tuned two large drums, and two of them is in two different notes. And he asked her, no, don't listen through your ears, because there is no point in listening through your ears. Your hearing is being impaired. So what you do is listen to other parts of your body, or try to sense the sound through some other way, not using your ears. And then she realized that she could feel the drum in different parts of her body. So the higher drum she could feel it from waist up, and the lower one she could feel it waist down. Now, Forbes repeated this exercise, and soon Evelyn noticed that she could sense certain notes in different parts of her body. So, this is how it all started. This is how her, listening to sound through senses started. Now, I had to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. So she had to do was open her mind and body to sounds and vibrations, and the rest she worked really hard. She was very determined to achieve this goal, and she succeeded. She never looked back from that point onwards. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. At the end of her 3 year course, she had captured most of the top awards. So from that point onwards, nothing was going to stop her. Didn't look back. She didn't let the hearing impairment rule her life. She toured the whole of England with an orchestra, being part of the orchestra. And by the time she was 16 years of age, she had decided that music is going to be her career, music is going to be her life. So she auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music, and she scored one of the highest marks in that audition. And she gradually slowly moved from orchestral work to solo performances. So not just not just with the group she performed, she also started to perform alone on stage. And by the end of her 3 year course in the Royal Academy of Music, she had won most of the top awards. So she was really good in what she was doing. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. If you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. And she got right to the top. The world's most sought after multi percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. So, for all these awards, for all these achievements, she won't say that she is some sort of a great person or something. She is not at all playing hero here. She is giving an advice to everybody that if you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. So, hard work and knowing what you want in life will help you to achieve your goals. And she got right to the top. She is a top musician in the world now, and she is a multi percussionist. She plays lots of percussion instruments, and she has mastered over some 1,000 instruments, and she has a very busy international schedule, meaning she travels all around the world with her with as to perform concerts. So she is very busy with her work. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. In our 2 hour discussion, she never missed a word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. It is not just watching the lips, it is the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says, but that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. So it is very fascinating to watch this lady functioning with so effortlessly without taking any effort on stage, and she does not have the ability to hear. And in our 2 hour discussion, so this hour is the writer Deborah Crowley. She was talking with Evelyn, and Evelyn never missed a single word that the author was saying. So Evelyn jokingly said, "Men with bushy beards, I can't read their lips." But it's not just the lips, but it's the whole face, especially the eyes. So through facial expression, also she can make out what other people are saying. And she speaks very fluently, very without any mistake in a Scottish accent, because she says that my speaking is clear because I could hear till I was 11 years of age. So my speech does not have a problem. It is just like any other person. But that does not say that how she has managed to learn French and Japanese, because those are two different languages, and she can she can speak in those languages as well, just like any other person. So that is still a mystery to the author. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. By leaned against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. So, as for music, she says that music pours in through every part of my body. I can feel it in my skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. I can feel the music. And when she is playing the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. So I have shown you a video where through the vibration, how she can sense the sound in her on her fingertips, right? So she can feel the echoes, the quality of sound by leaning against the drum, and it flows all through her body. So on a wooden platform, what she does is she removes her shoes and she stands barefoot, and her so that the vibrations can pass through her feet, through feet and up towards her leg. So she stands without any shoes on a wooden platform. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So she has won this award, Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award in 1991. She delights her audiences very well, and master percussionist James Blades. So James Blades is a person who plays all these drums and all. He is a very an expert, very veteran musician in that field. And this is the quote that we saw at the beginning of the text. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. So I have explained this at the beginning of this chapter. Moving on, Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. So Evelyn admits that she is a workaholic. So who is a workaholic? A person who is always working. They can't sit 1 minute without working. So Evelyn is a workaholic. She admits that she is a workaholic, and she is saying that I just started my work. I have a long way to go, and I have to work harder than the classical musicians. So the rewards that I got are very huge, very enormous. Even though I just started my work, the rewards that I got was very huge rewards. And apart from the regular concerts that she gives free performances also. In prisons and hospitals, she performances for free. She doesn't take any money for that. And she gives high priority, great importance to classes for young musicians. So she takes classes for young musicians as well. So this lady Anne Richlin, she works with the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children. She says that Evelyn is a very shining inspiration for deaf children, and the deaf children, they realize that there is nowhere that they cannot go. So sky is not at all the limit; they can go beyond that. So that is the kind of inspiration Evelyn gives for these young children. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. So, Evelyn Glennie has accomplished, she has achieved more than most people who is twice her age. So, she has done a lot in her life, and she is the one who brought these percussion instruments to the front of the orchestra. Before her, it was at the back side. Now, because of her, these instruments came into the front part of the stage, and she also showed that these instruments can also be very inspiring and moving, and she has given inspiration to handicapped people, and they look at her and they say that if she can do it, why can't I can also do it. And she has given huge pleasure to millions of people through her musical performances. So, children, the idea is that whatever your shortcomings are, whatever your difficulties are, you can overcome that with hard work and determination, and you can achieve whatever you want in your life. It's just that the only person who is stopping you from achieving your dreams to do whatever you want to do is yourself. The only person standing in your way is yourself. So you realize that, and you go and achieve your dreams, however idiotic that may sound to other people. So the important questions for this session, I will post it in the Google Classroom, and after posting it, I will let you know through WhatsApp. Okay, so please read this chapter at least 3 times using your textbook,